Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the Mesillas Yesharim. We're closing in on the end of chapter 13, which is the trait of precious, of abstinence, of one separating themselves from the pleasures of this world when they are not necessary. We spoke up until this point about the precious that is encouraged by Chazal, where it's a positive aspect of one's avodas Hashem to distance themselves from the meaningless and baseless pleasures of this world when they're non-essential. However, today we're going to get to the precious, to the abstaining and the distancing oneself from those things of this world that are necessity, and that's going to be considered something that is not good in the eyes of Hashem. Acha precious harahu. The bad form of precious, however, is the following. And that is keder chaschalim. This is the way in which foolish people go about it. Not only do these people avoid taking from the world what they do not need, meaning that would be their precious, they don't take things that are non-essential. They say, no, I'm on a higher level than that. I'm not going to indulge in such matters. However, the problem is, they also deny themselves the things in this world that are essential to them. They end up afflicting their bodies with strange and bizarre behaviors, which Hashem himself does not desire at all. This, what the Ramchal understands, is that when a person is inflicting pain into their body, all for the sake of removing their adherence to this physical world and making themselves what they would call more spiritual, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't ask for anything like that. And not only that, he doesn't want it. The opposite, Chachamim Amru, our sages have taught us, it is forbidden for a person to torment and to hurt himself. And that's talking about over there with unnecessary fasting. A person fasts too many times and he's going to damage his constitution. That the Chazal, our sages teach, you can't do. The sages have spoken about tzedakah when they say, anybody who is so destitute and poor that they need to accept charity, and they refuse because they say, I just can't. The person is considered to be a murderer. He's spilling his own blood, perhaps the blood of his family, because they need the money and he refuses to take it. No, I don't take such things. So that says Chazal, that's a problem. So too they say, lenefesh chaya. It says in the pasuk, in the verse, when man was created, lenefesh chaya, he's going to be a living soul, a living being. Now you could expound upon that verse and say, neshama shenasati b'cha. Hashem says, the neshama that I put inside of you, hachayi oisa, keep it alive. How do you keep it alive? Sustain it. You have to eat, you have to drink, you have to get sleep, you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your needs. Make sure the neshama is sustained and alive. And it says further, anybody who takes a fast upon themselves is called a choite, a sinner. And Chazal said, who's that talking about? A person who cannot handle the effects of the fasting and the deprivation which he's putting himself through. Such a person is not allowed to fast because there's no point in avodas Hashem of damaging and hurting yourself. And that's what he calls foolish, precious, foolish abstinence and separating from things that a person actually needs. The Hillel, the great Hillel said, Goimel nafsho ish chased. It says in the verse in Mishlei that Goimel, one who gives his soul, is considered to be an ish chased, a kind, benevolent person. Al achilas habayker is referring to eating breakfast. You got to eat breakfast. Didn't your mother teach you that in the morning? The most important meal of the day is breakfast. It gives you koyach, it gives you strength, it gives you energy, it gives you the nutrients and the minerals that you need. Eat breakfast. You're doing a chesed with yourself. And Hillel would wash his face and his hands in honor of Hashem. That's an honor of Hashem, to be involved with your washing, with showers, with a loofah, with some great Dove soap over there. What's the Kiddush Hashem? What's the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because he said, Kal v'chayim midiyoknois hamalachim. He said, I'm going to extrapolate from here the following lesson. I look around in the king's palace and I see there's statues all over the place that look like the king, and his ministers and his servants, they go and they wash them down every single day to make sure that they're sparkling, because that's an honor to the king. I, who am created b'tselem Elokim, in the image of God. So, of course, then he says, I have to wash myself and care for myself and tend to my needs to make sure that I am sparkling clean and I am a wonderful representative of Hashem. Harlecha klal amiti, says the Ramchal, the main rule regarding precious is anything that a person does not need in this world, that it's fitting that he abstain from them. However, anything that is essential to the person for whatever reason it might be, now that's going to be a big discussion over here. Meaning, for some people, what is mukhrach, what is necessary, are the bare basics: a little bread, maybe a little bit of leaven, a little bit of yogurt in the morning, maybe an egg here and there, and a cup of coffee. He's good to go in the morning. Another person, no. They need the large cup of coffee, they need a glass of orange juice, they need a few slices of toast, they need some extra eggs, they need some salad on the side, they need a piece of cheese. Whatever the person needs, as they know for themselves what is necessary to be able to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's called essential, and that is not something that a person should distance themselves or abstain from. Because it's essential to him. And if he does distance himself from such a thing, he becomes a sinner. Now, it doesn't mean go overboard. It doesn't mean you're going to have banana shakes, milkshakes, and banana splits, and cake, and rugelach, and danishes every single morning, because I need to have it for my that's essential. No, that's not essential. That's called gluttony. That's called overdoing it. What it means is whatever is needed for a person, whatever they need to put them in a good mood and to be able to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu better that day, that's called essential. Hine ze aklal neman. This is the general rule. Ach mishpat hapratim al pi haklal. However, says the Ramchal, this evaluation of things that a person is going to do, eino musar ela el shikol hadas. The only way a person is going to be able to make the proper judgment is he's got to be what's called shikol hadas. He has to weigh things out properly, sound judgment. Ulefi sichla yehula ish. According to one's wisdom, he's going to be praised. The more that you think things through and you decide what you need and what you don't need, you understand what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, what's indulgent, what is not indulgent, you'll be praised for such a thing. It's impossible to get all the details of every single case over here because it's just too many. Man's mind cannot encompass everything. Rather, every situation that will come to him at the appropriate time, a person should evaluate and say, do I need this? Do I not need this? Is it indulgent? It is not indulgent. Is it going to help me? Is it going to hurt me? And that's the way that a person lives a life. And no matter what madriga, no matter what level a person's on, that's the way a person will live a life of precious, which means, yes, Shabbos and Yom Tiv and Purim, Chanukah, wonderful days for a person to indulge a little bit more in the delicious, tasty foods that we have in this world. But Monday, do I have to eat a whole cake? Tuesday, do I have to have 3 scoops of ice cream? Thursday, as a person, do I have to go and get the milkshake that's as long as my arm? Do I need that? So again, every person will be on their own level. Wherever you are holding, don't deny yourself things that are going to end up hurting you and paining you at the end of the day. If a person feels pressure that I can't have this because that's what I need for my avodas Hashem, then a person at some point is going to end up kicking off the yoke of heaven because they'd rather indulge more in this world. And therefore, that's what the Ramchal is saying. This is something that it's not a blanket rule. It's not a standard that we are setting over here. There's something called precious, abstaining and separating from those things which are not necessary. For some people, it's not necessary. For other people, it is essential and it is necessary. Know thyself, as is said, and in that way, you'll be able to live a normal, balanced, healthy, happy life between your obligations, your essentials, the precious, those things that you don't need, and in that way you'll feel comfortable, you'll have menuchas hanefesh, peace of mind, and you'll find tremendous favor in the eyes of Hashem. Have a wonderful day.